Welcome back to the Sportsmax Zone to cricket now. The West Indies tour of New Zealand is scheduled to bowl off on November 27. These are the squads. Alright, so we're awaiting that graphic for the squads. Of course, we have Wayne Lewis with us on the show. I feel like, Wayne, you should jump in at this point in time and talk to us about the test squad.
Hold on, no. Well, let's wait until we get the graphic. I want Wayne to talk about facing Tony Gray in his playing days, because Tony Gray is said to be our guest, and I want to hear a story from Wayne about, you know, facing the pace of Anthony Gray.
Well, we have the graphic
now. We have the graphic
so
now. There you go.
Saved.
Saved by the graphic.
All right, so let's take a look at the squads now. We have for the T20 squad, Kieron Pollard at the helm as captain, Fabian Allen, Dwayne Bravo, Sheldon Cottrell, Andre Fletcher, Shimron Hetmyer, Brandon King, Kyle Myers, Rovman Powell, Kimo Paul, Nicholas Pooran, O'Shane Thomas, Hayden Walsh Jr., and of course, Kesrick Williams. The test squad, Jason Holder as captain, Jermaine Blackwood, Craig Brathwaite, Darren Bravo, Shamar Brooks, John Campbell, Roston Chase, Rakeem Cornwall, Shane Dowrich, Shannon Gabriel, Shimron Hetmyer, Shamar Holder, Elzari Joseph, Kimo Paul, and Kemar Roach. The West Indies test reserves, Nkrumah Bonner, Joshua De Silva, Preston McSween, Shane Mosley, Raymond Reefer, and Jaden Seals. Well, Guyanese all-rounder Mariah Shepherd has been selected to replace Dwayne Bravo in the T20 squad. Bravo picked up a groin injury while on IPL duty for Chennai Super Kings and will play no further part in that tournament. Much of the discussion around the test squad concerns the absence of Shai Hope, who was dropped after a poor run of form. The 26-year-old Barbadian has averaged 19.48 in tests since December 2017. In the recent 2-1 defeat against England, he averaged below 18. Well, joining us now to discuss the omission of Shai Hope is former West Indies fast bowler Tony Gray. Tony, welcome to the Sportsmax Zone.
Yes, good evening to you, Mariah, and good evening to your co-host and everybody that is listening and viewing.
Always a pleasure to have you. So, Tony, we start with, of course, the omission of Shai Hope from this squad. How did that news in particular grip you?
Well, it's neither here nor there with me. I think that he has done well enough to be on the squad, although in recent times he's had a low run of form, and obviously for different reasons. I think the previous selectors did not do him justice by picking him in all formats of the game after 2017, that brilliant performance in England. So I think it was just mismanagement, and I thought he should have been in the squad. If he wasn't in the squad, I thought he should have been in the reserves. But nevertheless, he can go back to Barbados and recuperate and work on the deficiencies he obviously has.
Tony, you know, a lot of the criticisms where Shai Hope being left out is coming. People are saying, of course, he didn't even make the reserves though.
Yeah, and I think that when you have somebody like that, you have to assess things nicely. What is his problem? Is his problem mental, psychological, or is it technical? But I think that he should have been in the reserves, and the coaches at that level in the West Indies team should be working at him in that environment in New Zealand. So nevertheless, I think that he should work at his game, and the coaches in Barbados should help him.
Tony, so based on news coming out from, around the Caribbean, you've been saying some things about Kimo Paul, very shocked by his inclusion. Talk to us about that.
Well, I love Kimo Paul as a player. I think that he has the indomitable spirit, the unremitting spirit, the never say die attitude. And I've worked with him before at the West Indies B team level here in the Caribbean. But my point is that Kimo Paul, at this point in time, he's not been consistent enough. I think that he tries too many things. And in test match cricket, you want somebody who could concentrate and bowl a line and length and bowl wicket-taking deliveries. But not try too many things, work with a game plan. And I think that because of the T20 cricket that he's played, he's gotten in the habits of not being consistent enough. And at test match cricket level, he needs to be consistent. But I love him as a player.
Tony, should I say chairman, explain to me, I would love to hear you laugh. I would love the West Indies to hear you laugh, but I hope I can make you laugh other times so they can enjoy the way you laugh. But in the meantime, How do you explain Shai Hope's performance where I think he's averaged over 50 in one-day internationals, but he's struggled in Test cricket? And you imagine that in Test cricket, he would have more time to set up his innings and move forward. And after what he did at Headingley, I think 3 years ago, when he scored a century in both innings, first in the history of Test cricket in England that has ever happened at Headingley. And everyone expected that he would have pushed on from then. But he has improved exponentially in the ODIs, scoring a lot of runs and centuries. Why can't he do that, replicate that in Test cricket?
Well, one-day cricket for batsmen is very easy, or easier, I should say, in comparison to Test match cricket. Test match cricket is really a test of not just your endurance, your mental capacity, the ability to bat for long periods, the ability to adjust during the course of an innings to get a century. So it's harder. It's red ball cricket too, and the ball can deviate all over the place. It changes during the course of a day. The environment changes. The captaincy has, the opposing captains have the ability to put people in strategic positions. So my thing is that Test match cricket is harder. When you look at Shai Hope specifically, he started off getting used to that level because of the lack of a high level of standards in the Caribbean. So batsmen and bowlers will have to take some time to get used to that level playing Test cricket. And you look at the graphic that you saw yesterday, he had a spike in 2017, playing brilliantly in England, a record-breaking feat that had not existed for over 100 years in that particular venue. So we know that he has the propensity to make some big scores, to play some brilliant innings. But what happened after that, I think the West Indian selectors then, the previous selectors, they played him in all formats of the game. He has to build a certain chemistry of batting. He has to be, a process-oriented batsman. And if you play him in T20 cricket, you messes up that chemistry. And that is what has happened to Shai Hope. And for example, in the World Cup, he made 98 in 123 balls, and he was criticized for batting too slow. He has a role to play. And I don't think that we have done him justice by selecting him in all formats of the game then.
I'm kind of surprised that you'd say that, though, Mr. Chairman, considering the fact that he's a batsman. Usually they say that for bowlers, they're tired, they're working too hard. And the player that comes to mind immediately is Bishu from Ghana. It was said that he was playing in all formats and he tired shoulder after a while, and it kept him out of the West Indies team. He's no longer playing, really. Now, for a batsman like Shai Hope, which showed such tremendous talent and touch, and he's such a pleasing player to the eyes. Let's going back a little bit now with the fact that there's no organized cricket in the West Indies now because of the COVID pandemic. Did the selectors get it wrong for not taking him to New Zealand? At least he'd be in an environment where he'd be owning his skills, he'd be getting to play cricket. Also, is it that one of the thought process on their part is that taking him to New Zealand as a reserve player might do him more harm than good?
Well, I think that when you look at Shai Hope, I'm not close to the players, and I think that the West Indies selectors would have had more and factual information about each player. Shai Hope obviously, has the talent, and we've seen that before. But if it's psychological and he needs to rest away from the game, then I agree with the West Indies selectors. And let me just say something, that the West Indies selectors have been very good. They've been measured. I like the way that the lead selector has approached things in Roger Harper. I think that he has been profound in his thinking, and that's what is needed at this point in time. So if Shai Hope has psychological issues and he doesn't have the confidence level, then he needs to be away from the game for a while to recuperate.
Tony, well, we're out of time. Sorry, we have to wrap. But of course, we're going to be keeping in touch with you as West Indies get set to face New Zealand. So take care.
Yeah, thank you very much, Maria. And thanks for Wayne. And just to ask Wayne, how's the finger?
What finger?
The one that I hit you on, Wayne. Back
That's long ago, man. We can't remember that.
Against Jamaica, Wayne.
We can't remember that, Tony. That is.
Can't remember that.
That's 30 years ago, man. We can't remember that.
Discuss that now.
It's good now. It's good now. It's good now. It's good.
Thanks again. Thanks. You gave George some ammunition.
You need to laugh.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Of course, our former Windies fast bowler there, Tony Gray, giving George some ammunition so he can strike back at Wayne. We go to break.
So Malcolm Marshall was your middle stump, and Tony Gray was your middle finger.
That was my middle finger.
Break time.